TIFU by accidentally stalking a girl I really like. 2 weekends ago, I went on a first date with this girl. Just grabbing drinks. We talked for a few hours and, I think, really hit it off. I walked her to her car. We kissed, and went our separate ways. The second date was already being planned well before the first one ended. I'm not completely inept. It seemed like a really good date. About a year ago, I moved to a smallish town for work. One where there aren't a lot of women, and the ones that are here aren't really my type. I've been trying hard, but I feel like I haven't had a meaningful date until this one. And it's been really boring, lonely, frustrating, sad, etc. I got back on Instagram a couple months ago after about 3 years off of it. Turns out I missed some features. Maybe I'm alone in this. But I tend to research the girls I go out with, just to see what I can find. Well, it turns out this girl was not hard to find at all. And she's very active. She's also attractive, full of energy, and just makes my dumb face smile for some reason. It's been a while. Maybe you know where this is going. Instagram has a feature that shows you who's watched your story. I am not following this girl, but let's just say I'm likely her #1 fan. Based on our texting, I think I've already lost this one. A question for the masses: should I just stop watching and pretend nothing ever happened? Or do I come clean and say sorry for being an idiot? Do I never text her again and bury myself in a hole? Obviously I can't know if she knows. But I'm guessing the odds are low she hasn't noticed. TLD, or didn't realize Instagram showed you who has watched your story. And I've been watching my dates a lot without ever following her. Just follow her so she knows you're not trying to hide the fact you looked her up. You went on a date and kissed her. Shouldn't be weird to check her Instagram. Important to note, it doesn't tell them how many times you watched it. So all she knows is you've seen her stories. Not that weird, since you did go on a date that sounds like it went well. 1. It's not weird to look at someone's social media when you are dating them too. I don't think many people would actually check who's been watching them. I don't know. It seems strange, especially if you've got a public profile. Since when is looking at someone's public Instagram stories stalking? You're really overthinking this. It's much more likely the IG thing is completely unrelated to her behavior. She might have had a good time, but all things considered prefers to leave it there. Man shrugging. I wouldn't even mention it. Follow her on IG. I mean, grimace. Ask her out another time, and if she isn't responsive, move on. That's the way it goes sometimes. Based on our texting, I think I've already lost this one. Quote, why do you think this? Something they said specifically, or you feel like the attitude behind the messages has changed? If it's because you feel the attitude behind the messages has changed, that most likely you projecting. Frankly, as an active overthinker, stop that. So she might know you watched her story. That's why it's there. It doesn't show them how many times you watched it. So relax. If you stress out and project your insecurities and worry, you will cause it to fall apart. Just simply go with the flow. And if the date went that well, maybe you should be following her on Instagram. Isn't that what it's for, and why people have it? IDK, I am old and out of touch. If she gets mad because you watched her IG stories, she is the weird one. You're fine. Women definitely scope out someone they're interested in. It shouldn't be weird that you looked at her Instagram. Seems like you're overthinking it too much. Don't be weird or needy in your texts. Keep it light and fun, as I'm sure you can. If she ever asks about it, say you always do some research on people you consider dating, and that's it. Add her there after the second or third date. I don't think it's weird. When we first started dating, both my wife and I checked out each other's social profiles. Just be honest about it. Hey, I found you on Instagram. I really liked the video where you had the funny hat on. Or whatever. If she asks why you looked for her, be honest, I think you're cute. I wanted to know more about you. There is nothing wrong with any of this. If she was concerned about stalkers, her profile would be private. You already went on a date and it went well. Follow her account and like some of her recent posts. This is why normal people do. Also forgot to type this earlier. Never tell someone you were doing research on them. If she asks how you found her profile, say something like IG suggested the profile. We all know how creepy technology is, and social media is not different. Don't make it weird. Just follow her, then comment on something. Start a conversation about it. The ones that are here aren't really my type. What is your type? Asking for a friend. I highly doubt she's looking every story she posts and checking who's viewing it. Unless you're liking every post and giving her a notification, she's 1. Not gonna even know, and 2. Unlikely to care either way. If you've already took her out and kissed her, just follow her. I don't think she'll mind. Did she actually call you out on stalking, or are you just assuming that it's the reason she hasn't been receptive to a second date? Without more context, I think it's entirely possible she's just not interested in a second date for a variety of reasons. You'll likely never know. She could still have had fun on said date, and it can still be the outcome. People are flaky, and often not the most forthcoming when it comes to this type of stuff, as typically people don't want to hurt others' feelings. Personally, I don't think you looking up someone's social media after a first date is a big deal. I've done it. Granted, I don't use Instagram, so not sure if it operates differently than, say, Facebook. With that said, whether it is the reason for her to break it off or not, it's really not healthy to dive into someone's life that you just met like that. It sounds like you've gone through all her posts, photos, etc. My assumption for why you do this is you like her a lot and it gives you some of the feelings you had when you were on a date with her. I get it, but at the end of the day, all it's doing is fueling a fantasy in your head about a prospective future you may have with her, causing your interest to shift from her to the idea of being with her. That sort of thing will trip you up on date number 2 regardless. How old are you, LMAO? If she's seeming distant or something, I guarantee it isn't because you watched her story. Though I'm a little confused as to why you didn't just follow her on Insta when you found her account. It's not that weird these days. I accidentally liked a Facebook photo that was posted several years before we met. I wouldn't worry too much. Should probably add that I'm now married to the woman I Facebook stalked, lol. She still teases me about it occasionally.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.